So, you can tell by the title that in this video, I'm going to make a turntable. If you don't know what a turntable is, it's this big circular thing that when it spins, it'll rotate your product or whatever you want to display around in a circle. If you search turntable, it's going to either come up with a record player turntable or the one that I'm making. They're both the same, except they turn different things. The reason why I want to make one is because before, if I want to turn something or display it, I'll have to take a picture there, then rotate a bit, take a picture, rotate it again, take a picture, and that just took a lot of effort and a lot of time. So this turntable should help me to save a bit of time whilst making it look a lot nicer. So let's go and see how I make it. I got this other metal rod so I can connect this gear to the other spur gear that I have laying around somewhere else. But this is a bit too long for what I need it for. So somewhere on this and on there I'll scratch the mark to signify how long I actually want this to be. So let's cut it. I also got this tool which is a bit too big for what I'm using for, but it'll do. Finally, this took way too long. I think I was using the wrong tool because that was really hard to do. If I was going to do this ever again, I'm going to make sure that I get the right tool for this job instead of getting the first cutting tool that I find. But hey, it did the job, and this'll do. Also, because of the rust edge on this side, it means that when I insert it into this, it doesn't want to come off because that side isn't perfectly circular. So using the wrong tool kind of helped me to keep this gear in place, which, I mean, it's a benefit, so I'll take it. So now I just gotta create the housing in which these two pieces will live in. So after this bit, it was meant to be me jump cutting to the part where I have all three of the circles cut out. But it turns out either the video corrupted or I didn't record. Which means you're having to watch me explain why the clip's missing. So back to the video. Alright, this is no longer funny. I'm missing the next bit of footage that I had, which is going to be me cutting this rectangle piece out and then bending it to put it around the circle bit that I was meant to cut out earlier. And I don't know where it's gone, but unlike last time, it's not on my computer, it's not on my phone, so it must have got corrupted or something. But it could be linked to the fact that suddenly I've got 6 more gigabytes of storage left, so I think somewhere on my phone a bunch of stuff corrupted, and one of the stuff that corrupted was my videos that I had planned to put in this video. So yeah, hopefully this is the last time this happens, but if it isn't, well, I've got a problem on my hands. Back to the video. So I've got most of the pieces that I'll be using right in front of me. I've got the base, I've got the lid to the base, and I've got the actual turntable bit. As you can see, I've already added holes in the sides for this tube to fit through, and a hole on the lid for this bit to go through, so it can connect to the actual spinny thing. So now let's put it all together. So I forgot to mention that I also marked out on the rod where I want this to be glued on. And that's because when I tested this gear before, it turns out that this hole is slightly too big, which meant that when this metal rod was spinning, this wasn't spinning because it's slipping. So I'm gonna add a bit of glue to make it stick together. Got some glue and let's put it together. And it's already a lot better, kinda. If I just let that set for a bit, it should work. But I'm slightly impatient, so I'm gonna use my mum's hairdryer to speed up the process. Yeah, that's not what I meant to do. All that. Okay, hope that's enough. Let's do a quick test. Okay, so it kinda stirs. Let's put it together to see if the extra bit of grip that I gained actually helps. Now, where did I put everything? I've folded up one side so I can actually see what I'm doing when I'm lining it up. Otherwise, it's more of a guessing game. I'm gonna re-glue everything, but this time I'm gonna do it with super glue instead of PVA glue. The reason why I used PVA glue the first time was because I used it for that and it held up pretty good. So I was hoping that it would hold up pretty good for this. But I set my expectations way too high and should have known that it couldn't do this. So let's go to PVA glue. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I reprinted this gear because I needed these teeth to be slightly thinner because it wasn't getting enough contact with the other bigger gear because of how wide this was. Because a spur gear is meant to be used in a line, not 90 degrees perpendicular to each other. So I had to make these teeth thinner, otherwise it wouldn't fit in the box. I put some super glue on this, so let's see if it works. Let's see if everything lines up. It was working pretty well. If you look closely, you can see it spinning. Now, it's time to stick this on top of that. So I've made a hole on one side, well, I've made a hole on both sides, but I used the other side because it's kind of hard to remember which hole is the center. So, on this side I'm gonna get a pencil, stab a hole into it, and then hope that this tube fits in. Hey, there we go. With a little bit of help, it fits in. And it spins! Well, so I glued the top half all together. The spinning bit, the rod, the lid, and the gear. So, let's put everything together. I'm gonna first glue the lid to the base, because otherwise it's very hard to align the two gears together. So, I'll be back once I've done that. Alright, so I've taped it all together, but I left this front flap open so I can easily see where the gears are. And yeah, it's spinning. Alright, let's try go really slow. That didn't work either. So let's put something on display to see what it would look like if I was going to use this. Alright, very slanted. We're off to a good start. And everything's gone south. Yeah, this is not really going too well. I mean, it spins. Does it work? Not necessarily. Right. Now that I've spun it a bit, let's see if it works now. Nope, still doesn't fix anything. So, this project of mine is going to take a lot longer to fix than what I've got time for. So, I'll have to make this into a two-part series in which In the next part, I'll fix all the problems with this and have a fully working turntable. So, until then, goodbye.